Well, Caitlin Clark did it. She spoke out against the trolls spreading hate towards WNBA players. Second time she has stood in front of cameras, at least that I can remember, and addressed this very issue, condemning and saying that no WNBA player, no person deserves to receive the kind of hate that is being spread. And in doing so, Clark showed that she has, again, everything it takes to be the face of the league. I mean, if it wasn't for her basketball performance, that would be irrelevant. So remember, the basketball performance is the number one thing. The reason she is as popular as she is, the number one answer on the Family Feud board is because of how great a basketball player she is, how entertaining she is to watch. But she has also stepped into this role, as what's the Spider-Man saying? With great power comes great responsibility. She has stepped into this role and handled it in an exemplary fashion because she is the one that has to deal with a lot of stuff. No one cares about Caitlin Clark's mental health. No one seems to care what people say about her, the constant hate she receives. It looked like somebody with a media credential or a credential of some sort was the Sun fan who got escorted out, at least temporarily, by security during the playoffs. But because Clark is viewed, and this shows you whether people will admit it or not, subconsciously or consciously viewed as the biggest figure in the sport, because she is the biggest figure in the sport. And fortunately for the sport, she has what it takes to handle that because she always uplifts her peers. She always spreads the positivity, and she never feeds in to the negative nature of things. And here's what Clark had to say in her latest statement about the story regarding social media hate spreading.
James and Chloe.
Caitlin, when your head coach came out with a statement today saying she announces all the racism that some people have felt in this league, players, trolls online, all those things, as one of the biggest stars in this league, what are your thoughts on the things not only your teammates have to endure, but just the entire league? And obviously, you've spoken on this before, but just now that your coach and your GM are talking about it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. But there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league in a very positive light is the best thing that we can do because there are so many great players. There's so many great teams. There are so many positive storylines that can be written and celebrated. And for me, that's why I became a fan of this league, is these people were my idols. I grew up wanting to be like them. So I think continuing to uplift and, represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do.
I don't think she could have said it any better. By the way, shout out to James Boyd of The Athletic, who has asked these questions to Clark, and gotten the great answers from Caitlin Clark. And, I thought, one, she condemned the hate as she should. Two, she praised her peers as she should. And three, she didn't paint all fans with a broad brushstroke. And how many people have talked about what Nafisa Collier did? I'm guilty of it too. Don't get me wrong. But that was the message that Stephanie White, the Sun coach, had. We're in charge. The collective media is in charge. And Clark sets a good example there too. Because she has to deal with so much crap, it's almost unimaginable. Like, I'm going to pull up a story for you that I saw yesterday. And I don't know this person, but Frankie De La Cretas. I don't know who this is, but I saw this person write about the de-escalation committee. And what has essentially happened is that a team of black women have become responsible for babysitting their white teammates, sometimes physically holding her back or grabbing her face and saying, basically trying to say that stereotypes against black women are being perpetuated through Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's an unhinged piece of writing. It's not fair to Aaliyah Boston. It's not fair to Kelsey Mitchell. It's not fair to Erica Wheeler. It totally ignores that Lexi Hull and Katie Lou Samuelson are a part of that too. It's not fair to Clark. And it comes across like someone who's never seen sports before in their life, to be honest with you. Never watched a major sport and only cares about this sort of thing. Like, I don't know how your brain contorts itself to write a piece like that. It's destructive and it's a disservice to all the other fans and the players in the league. And Clark, I mean, I don't know what else people want her to say now or do. And if I could make the online, as I've shared with you before, I've had people threaten my kids in the DMs and stuff like that. It sucks. It sucks. And none of the players should have to go through that. Unfortunately, it's part of what comes with the territory of the league blowing up the way it has. And Clark has also become, she's so popular, an easy way for engagement, an avatar for some of these hateful, I don't know what else to call them. I mean, I guess the word is trolls. And there's always been bad fans, by the way, too. It's not like all fans are good. I was, and I don't even want to say bad. I was at the Giants-Cowboys game last night, and I made note of myself in the tunnel. I'm walking out with my kids and hearing some of the stuff fans are shouting, right? Like, fans have always shouted crazy stuff or behaved in a crazy fashion. We've seen fans escorted out arenas. We've seen fans fighting in the stands. We've seen all sorts of stuff. So, not to say all fans are good either. There's definitely been some, I'm sure, mean, hateful, racist fans that are out there. But Clark is also on the receiving end of clear bias, really, and some of that coming from people who are supposed to be professionals and not biased and not with an axe to grind or an agenda because she doesn't fit the mold of whatever it is they think should be the face of the WNBA. But the proof is in the pudding. And Caitlin Clark is ready for that challenge. She's proven it over and over again on the court, off the court. And everyone has proven that she is the one for that because that's all they ever talk about. Even the people, again, I'll say it clearly, the people who say they're sick and tired of hearing about Caitlin Clark talk about Caitlin Clark the most, even when she's not playing. Her team was eliminated. She's still the lead, even from those who complained that she's too often the lead. And nobody cares about her.